Hello, hello. May peace and blessings be with you. I hope that you are doing well. We're going to focus on Trello. The reason for this is I have been getting a lot of questions about organization, and there's just, so much on our minds. So many of us are multi passionate, we're pulled in so many different directions. So I really want to show you a process that you can follow to kind of keep track of things and also have a place where you can park your ideas and also have the ability to collaborate with your team if you have other people helping you out in your business. So that's really the intention behind setting aside some time for the next 4 weeks to really talk about Trello. And Trello is one of the most fantastic project management platforms. I'm going to call it project management platforms because I really feel that it's very powerful and it's able to help you in a lot of ways. But the reason why I love it is because it's visual. You don't have to dig through things. You can kind of set it up in a way that makes the most sense to you because it is super flexible and every person can design a board the way they process information because each of us are wired differently. There's so many different ways of setting up the board. So in today's session, I'm just really going to help you get started and basically have like the bare minimum in place so that you can start to see some organization with your thoughts and with tracking your tasks as things progress and continue to move forward. Okay, if you're live streaming or wanting to live stream and new at live streaming and need help and need support, call me. Text me, call me, get in touch with me. You can also go to my website, which is simplifyonething.com/schedule. If you go there, you can always schedule a tech call with me. Anytime you are wanting to do something and you're not able to figure it out, if you're spending more than 15 minutes on something, I want you to just book a call and get in touch with me and we'll do it together so you don't have to try to figure it out all by yourself. Like they say, two heads are better than one. So that's what I would say to that. Okay, so you want to set up a super simple board. So you want to go to Trello.com. I'm going to just show it on screen. Trello.com, Trello.com. And what this is it's a super fantastic platform that helps you create your own organization for keeping track of all the different categories and all the different tasks or to-dos or things that you want to get done in a way that makes the most sense to you. So I think I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so this is what you want to do. If you are brand new to Trello, you want to go to Trello.com and get started by creating a new account. It says get Trello for free. Trello is very generous. It lets you have up to 10 boards for free. And when you get to this screen, here's my preference. And you can do whatever you want on the screen, but here's my preference. I always enter an email and I don't log in with Google, Microsoft, Apple, Slack, or anything else. Sometimes it also has Facebook. Sometimes it also has some other things in here that you can log in with. The reason why I use my email and not one of these services is because when you're using one of these services, it's essentially using your username and password for one of these services, whichever one you pick, for logging you into your Trello account. So I don't pretty much ever do that. The reason for that is I create standalone passwords for every platform that I'm on, because then I get to control my username and password. I can use a different email. I can use a different password for each one, and I'm not tied to logging in with that platform. It also is helpful. I don't really promote sharing passwords or anything with your team, but every once in a while, if you need someone else to log in on your behalf, like a virtual assistant or your spouse or somebody else, you don't have to give them your password for this other platform, right? Because you're just giving them your password for that standalone app that you've created a standalone password for. So that is my reason for always creating a separate password for every single platform that I'm on. This is just like a side note or a tip that I'm giving you. I use a password manager for keeping track of all my passwords because at this point I probably have over 500 passwords and there's no way I can keep track of all of them. So I just use a password manager. If you're looking for a recommendation, 1Password is a really good one. Some people also use LastPass. LastPass is also really good, but I tried both of them and I ended up with 1Password. The reason for that was I also wanted to get my team their own accounts. 1Password was pretty flexible with that, and that's the one I went with. Okay, so right here, we're going to enter an email. I'm going to use Timmy plus templates at simplifyonething.com. Okay, and I'm going to click on sign up over here. It's going to sign me up and create a brand new account for me. It didn't even ask me to put in a password. That's fine because it must be logging me in with a code on the back end. It probably just sends me a code to log in if I ever want to come back to this board. Okay, so it's walking you through a little tutorial over here. It's saying, okay, what brings you here today? Are you trying to organize ideas and work? What is it that you're trying to do? You can try one of these, and I think it'll suggest a type of board that you can start with. And this is what a Trello board looks like, what you're looking at on the right-hand side of this screen over here. And it is super simple. Once you get the hang of it, it keeps things visually organized for you, and you're able to move things around, prioritize things, have different lanes for different things. Those are usually categories or phases, and you can tag things, you can mark things as done, you can add checklists, you can do so much in here. You can assign other people different tasks, you can also add due dates and things like that, and then it'll send you little pings and things like that related to it. Trello is also expanding where now you can also integrate Trello with other platforms like your inbox, and if you use Slack for conversations with your team and a few other things. I personally am not using these integrations for anything. I am using Trello just for task tracking and project management of any sort when we're doing live launches and things like that, and social media content scheduling ideas, and also for keeping track of my links and things like that. A few other things. That's what I'm using Trello for. I'm not really integrating it with my email or anything like that. I guess I could go down this path, but I get so many emails where not every single one is actionable and all of that. And I kind of didn't want all of that, getting cluttering my Trello board at this time. But maybe down the road, I will experiment with that, and then I will share my learnings and my findings related to that. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this for now because I just wanted to take me to the next thing. Here we go. It's talking about inbox. I'm going to hit continue. It says, let's start by adding your first to do as a card on your inbox to your inbox. I'm actually gonna not do this. I'm gonna just hit continue, and I'm gonna only pick the only necessary ones at the top, capture everything, continue. It's just giving me a little overview of how it's going to work. Please feel free to slow down and read all of these, but I am going to not use this. It says to finish setting up your account and start using Trello, confirm that we've got the right email. So I guess it's just like almost like a double opt-in. I think that's what it's trying to do. Here we go. This is what it says. So it just wants to make sure that this is a legitimate email inbox that it's about to create an account for. So I'm going to say, okay, verify your email. I guess to that we can verify email. Okay, so now on this screen, it's making me set up my password. Okay, so all I did was when I got to the screen, they were showing me inbox and the board. I clicked on the inbox at the bottom and it just hid this part, this panel on the left. That's all I did so far. By default, it's basically giving you this board with a few different columns. Sometimes you call them lanes, and just one task over here. If I click on it, you'll be able to see what this task is, and that's it. It just says start using Trello. That's my task for today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a brand new board and how to also share your board with your team, because I think both of those are super helpful. Okay, so to create a new board, right at the top where it says create, we're going to click on create board. And right here, you're able to create your board. You can give it a background color if you want, just like this one has like this purplish background. You can pick a color, or you don't have to pick a color. You can also pick an image or not pick an image and give it a title. So I'm going to make this one just like our normal to-do list for the business, let's say. And visibility of this, you can keep it private, which means it's only visible to the people you privately share with, yourself and anybody you share with. If you add it to a workspace, what this helps you do is if you give people access to your entire workspace, then they will also get access to this board because it's inside a workspace. So you can have standalone boards that you can individually give people access to if you want, or you can create a workspace and you can just add all the boards to that workspace and give people access to the workspace. Whoever has access to the workspace can see all of the boards that are inside of that. Or you can create a public board where anyone on the internet can see the board. Only board members can edit. That's a key point there. So it's visible to people, but only certain people can make edits to that. So primarily what I do is I keep my boards private unless I want to share my board with somebody. But even if I'm sharing with somebody, I usually just give them permission like that. I don't have multiple workspaces set up. I just have one workspace set up and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to click on private and I'm going to say create. I can also start with a template if I want. I'm just going to create this from scratch because I want you to see what the process is for creating a board from scratch. Okay, so by default, it's kind of like reading my mind, it seems like over here, but maybe by default, this is what it does. To do, doing, done, right? Those are basically 3 phases. I actually don't really like this background a whole lot. I like simpler backgrounds without a lot of clutter and all of that. So I may actually come back in here and change that. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to see right where it says change background. I'm going to click on that and I'm just going to say, okay, give me some color. I love a pop of color. So I may just do a change color, kind of like this one. All right, that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, so by default, it gave me to do, doing, done. That really comes from the world of like agile project management. At a minimum, you want to have basically three lanes that people are working off of. To do is basically stuff that you're throwing there, but nobody's working on it yet, right? Like everybody knows like it needs to be done, but nobody's working on it yet. Doing is when people assign that task to themselves or you assign that task to someone. That's when they're actually working on it. And done is when this got completed, right? So visually, you can kind of see things moving along. And these are the 3 lanes at a bare minimum. I also suggest that you create. I, in addition to that, add a few more. I'm going to do that also in just a minute, but I kind of want you to get a visual of how it's going to work when we first get started. Okay, so for now, we're going to keep it to do, doing, done. If you click on add a card, this is where you're going to add your first task, right? So I'm going to say write Monday's email. Let's say that's my task for today. So write Monday's email, and then in here, I can actually start to draft what that email is going to look like and all of that. But before I even do that, I'm going to say, okay, who's going to work on it? Is it me, myself? I'm going to work on it, or somebody else is going to work on it? I can assign people to this task by opening the task and clicking on member, and I can assign somebody to this task, right? Right now, there is nobody assigned to this board. Nobody else this board is shared with. So I'm not seeing anybody else in the list to assign any tasks to, just myself. So let's do that first. Let's just share the board with somebody first. I'm going to just share it with my personal email over here, if I can spell that correctly. Apparently that's an unverified account. All right. So I am the admin and I'm making this person a member and I'm going to give them access, right? So I've added this other person to my board. So now if I click in here, I'm going to see both my Timmy Mirza or Timmy Ilyas, right? So let's say this person 2 is going to work on it. Now, when I tag them or when I assign this to them, they're going to get a notification saying they got added to a task or a card or something like that. I think that's what this says. Okay, so once Timmy Ilyas starts working on it, what she's going to do is she's going to come in here. She's got the little message that said, you now have a task assigned to you or something. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can pull up that inbox and see if I can show you what that email looks like. Give me 1 second, because I think that might be helpful to see. Okay, it was under the updates folder. It's interesting that it didn't land in my inbox. Okay, so this is the email I received. It says, Timmy Mirza invited you to their board to-do list, and this is what you're going to get. So when I click on go to board, then I will have to log in with this account and all that good stuff. But just know some sort of notification goes out because I get those all the time. So it's funny, last night my super amazing VA basically moved a whole bunch of tasks, changed the status because a whole bunch of things were published last week. So she was basically cleaning up the board, moving them to the published lane. And I was getting pings on my phone, which also reminds me that Trello also has a mobile app. This will save your life for real, for real. So please download the mobile app on your phone. It has an Android app and an Apple app, whichever device you use. Please download the Trello app on your phone because that's what I do when I'm on the go. I'm literally just in there, sometimes moving tasks, sometimes adding comments and things like that. This is what we work off of all day long for every single thing. So we have multiple boards set up for different things. As we do these trainings for the next few weeks, I'm going to just continue to focus on Trello for the next 3 more weeks coming up. And with that, I'm going to show you my entire process. Seriously, I'm not holding anything back when I'm sharing that because I want you to see how my beautiful multi-passionate brain operates and how you can also leverage some of what I am doing and then also design it in a way that makes sense to you the most, right? Because we're all wired slightly differently. We're all doing things our own way. And I want you to kind of see a process, but then say, okay, this part of this process will work really well for me, but there's some other things that may not work well for me. So I'm going to change those. I'm going to tweak those. I'm going to customize them to my process. And I so want you to do that. Okay. So let's say this is the task, write Monday's email. I'm coming into this board. Timmy Ilias is coming into this board and when she starts working on it, she's going to move it to doing, right? Because if she knows what the process is for writing the email, she's just moving it along and she's saying, okay, I'm going to work on it. So here, now if it's her role or her job to draft the email, she can just start drafting the email over here. This is literally what I do. I'm drafting my content ideas and all of that right in here. And I just drop them in here. And whoever I need to tag, I just tag them and I say, okay, here's all the information that you need. This is literally how we're creating landing pages, sales pages, free resources, course things, whatever we're setting up. We're using Trello tasks for everything because that's where everything initiates for us. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, subject line is going to be whatever it's going to be. We're just going to say, okay, the 3 things. Let's see, doing these 3 things every Sunday will supercharge you. Something like that, right? So then basically the body of the email is going to be, I can't type. I'm basically going to put in, whatever this is going to be. If there's a graphic I want them to include, I would include graphic. If my VA is setting up this email for me, I will give them the graphic. I would also give them I'm just going to say text for the email. And then I'm going to say graphic is, if I have created a graphic, I'll give them the Canva link for that graphic. If they're to create the graphic, then I'm going to say graphic idea. And then I'm going to describe what the graphic should look like and they'll work on it. And then if there is anything else, right? So CTA in the email should be this, like I'm going to say, include this link in there and all that. And if I say who to send it to, the emails, right? So audience is going to be whatever tag we're using. Let's say we use emails tag in one tag. That's all I'm going to basically give them and they will be able to work off of that, right? So I use the description field for describing everything that I need. And once I'm done, then I just basically tag that person and I say, okay, so I'm going to say Timmy Ilias, please see the description for today's email, right? So I'm giving myself work. So I'm tagging myself. Every time you tag a person with an @ symbol, it always sends them an email notification. And if they have the app on their phone, they're also going to get a little notification on their phone as well, on the app as well. And I love this. So that's our process. My team tags me, I tag them and all that good stuff. This is how we function, right? And then that's it. We hit save on here. Okay, so let's say later on I come back in here and I say, oh, I actually wanted to include an image or something, right? So I can come in here and I can click on this little image thing and I can upload an image from my computer and I literally can get it uploaded. Let's just say I'm going to upload my own logo. If I wanted to include a link from Canva, let's say, I'm going to just go to Canva. Let's see if there's a file, a Canva design or something I wanted to include in there that I wanted them to start with or something like that. I use this click framework in one of the trainings. I'll just do that. Okay, so I grab the Canva link. I'm going to say right here, and that's it. I'm saving this in here, right? So we just keep on building this thing with all of the things that we need, right? And then if there are additional instructions, like after, let's say Timmy Ilias was done with this thing, she would just let me know that, you know, Timmy, this part is done. You can look at it now or something like that. And I can hop in there and I can take a look, or, okay. And if, yeah, so she would tag me and I can, you know, continue tagging her and I can say, okay, Timmy, I work the Canva design, link is included above. Or I can also drop the link here if I want, right? Or I can say link is included here. That's fine as well. So we basically just monitor both the description and this activity commentary and all of that. And that's it, right? Once this task is done, then you just move it over to done. Once this email gets sent, you just move it over to done. And that's it, right? That's literally the process for dropping a task, something that's in your mind, on your mind, that you're trying to get done. Just drop them all under to-dos, not even sorted or anything like that. Once you're ready to assign it, then I actually just come in here and I just assign the tasks. I don't move it to doing. My team moves it to doing when they actually start working on it. And when I come in, when I see stuff in doing, I know that's the task they're currently working on. And that is really helpful for me to see it like that. Can I just throw one more tip in there, because that is super duper helpful as we build these things. So what we have added to our process is anything that is waiting for someone, we have added that lane in here. And what that does is, after the team is done working on their stuff, but is still sitting under doing, we haven't marked it done, because if I haven't reviewed it, or if the client hasn't reviewed it, right? So that's still sitting under doing. So sometimes that is a little confusing. So in that instance, what we are doing is we're basically moving the task to waiting for someone. That way, when I come in here visually, I can see they're not actively working on it, but it's waiting for someone to take action on it. Not the team, not them, but someone else. Sometimes it's me, right, who needs to take action. So when I come in here, actually, that's the first thing I look at. I say, okay, what's under waiting for someone? How can we move it forward? Okay, so this is how that happens. I say video edit, and I say, let's say it's going to be this video, which is Trello, I can't spell, for coaches and course creators, right? So I created this task. It's a video edit task. I'm going to assign it to the person who's going to work on it, right? So in your case, it'll be your VA. Right here, I'm going to say, okay, the video is, I can actually say the raw video is located at, and I'm going to give them the path. I'm going to browse to one tech. I'm going to go to media storage, and I am going to find the video where I uploaded it. I'm going to copy the link of that video. I'm going to paste that link right here. And then right after that, I'm going to say, you know, whatever edits, like if I know what type of edits I need specifically. So sometimes if I've recorded a longer video where I have pauses and stuff like that, I say, okay, take out the silences and pauses, please. And then I say in the outro, mention the link for one tech, right? So since we've been working together, my team knows what that means. But let's say when we were first starting out, we needed to give them the link. So I'm going to actually put that in here. I'm going to say, show this link, right? Basically, that's what I'm going to tell them. And anything else, right? Like I also can say, okay, show an animation for subscribe to my channel, anything else, right? You basically would provide all of the instructions, everything that you could possibly think of in here initially that you know, right? Once they are done, once they're finished, what they're going to do is you can come in here and you can just say, Timmy, the video is ready for edits. Thanks, right? And then when Timmy's done, what she's going to do is she's going to say, okay, Cindy, the draft is ready for your review. And then she's going to include the link of where the draft version is saved, which also will be on one tech, right? you'll see the draft version. They'll throw the link in here. And if you have any more comments, you can just reply to that. You can just literally reply. You'll see on your end, you'll see a little reply option on here. You can reply to this comment and you can say, okay, all looks good, or go to, spot 20 minutes, 15 seconds and, change this word or this whatever, right? You'll provide that feedback. And once that is done, they're getting these comments real time. Once they're done, then they'll give you the final version of that. Then they'll say, okay, Cindy, here's the final version of the video. So between you and your VA, you can decide, do they post it to YouTube or you post it to YouTube, right? So you basically will agree on that. And then whoever's task that is, that person will take it forward and get it posted to YouTube, if it is for YouTube or whichever platform it's for. And that's it. That's basically our process. I hope this is helpful. Okay, so while I have you here, I'm going to talk about one more thing and then I'm going to let you go. Okay, so doing, waiting for someone, done, right? So those are all excellent to have. I also like having one more lane for every single board that we have. Is called a brainstorm or ideas, right? You call it whatever, brainstorm, or you can call it ideas. And what I do with that is I actually move this to the front. Let me move it, please. I'm holding it, clicking on it, holding it, dragging it. And this is always like, even if I don't even know if it's going to be a task for someone, if it's going to even become a to-do or not, this is just my brain dump, literally, like, as ideas are flowing in and coming in and all of that. So sometimes on some of my boards, I have like a long list of ideas, and that is okay. It does not bother anyone. It does not bother me or anyone, right? As we're coming in here and taking a look at it. But every once in a while, what happens is I sit down and I say, okay, so that was an idea. Do I still want to pursue it? Do I want to move it forward or not? If I want to move it forward, then I actually take that and I form it into a task and I move it to do. Once I move it to do, I know that now it's actionable. But until I assign a person to that, nobody works on it, right? Like with our stuff, my team doesn't work on stuff unless like I tell them or assign work to them. That's how they know, it's in their queue now, or, the ball is in their court now. When I assign them the task, once that's assigned, they get a notification. That's when they start working on it, depending on how much time they have available and all of that good stuff, right? So that's pretty much what our process is. I'm going to stop here. If anybody would like a copy of my simple board that I use, if anybody would like a copy of that, send me an email at timmy@simplifyonething.com and I will send you my board. You can start with that. Okay, so I can share my exact board that I use for my team, just so that you can see a visual of that also. I'm sorry I couldn't show it to you on screen over here because we have lots of things and a lot of like client things on it. I'm not able to share that on screen with you, but I can send you that just so that you have a starting point, so you don't have to even create these lanes from scratch. And what I will also do is I can even throw in some of the initial tasks that I feel coaches need or course creators need as you're getting started. So a little bit like a checklist, right? So I can put that in there also. Send me an email and I will share that with you. The other thing I'm going to talk about is next week, I'm going to dive in deeper. I'm actually going to show you my social media planner that we use now. I used to use a Google spreadsheet before, but using Trello ever since my VA has been using it, it's been fantastic and it's been working really, really well. So we have gone through and changed our process because it's so much better and more efficient. So I want you to have that. And next week, I will gift you my social media planner also, even with a few prompts and things like that we're using, even with some templates that we're using, because I think that will be a really helpful starting point for you as you are building your own brand and your own content and all of that. So please join me next week for that, and I will do that. And this week, for now, if you would like a copy of this, send me an email and I'll share that with you. If there are any questions, let me know, and I will see you next time. Same time and same place. We'll start at 11 and we'll continue learning Trello together. May peace and blessings be with you, my friends. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the week. May peace and blessings be with you. I love you all. Bye.